Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Egypt's most terrifying god that you have never heard of. Now, if you're someone who is well versed in Egyptian mythology, then it may be easy for you to name some of their most popular gods, such as Anubis, Horus, Ra, Thoth, and maybe even Set. But there are many other Egyptian deities that go relatively unknown outside of academic study. So I decided to make this series highlighting these lesser-known gods and goddesses of the Egyptian pantheon. And let me tell you, some of them will absolutely haunt your nightmares. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, I don't want to spoil too much in this intro, but today's featured deity is arguably one of the most brutal and ruthless gods in the entire Egyptian pantheon. This god has been depicted as having no remorse or pity for those who have passed on. He is cold, calculating and analytical, and is often associated with plagues, disease, and death. But who exactly am I talking about? Well, only one god fits this description, and he is none other than Ammit, the Soul Eater. But before we dive into the details of this terrifying god, I want to show you guys something really cool. Okay, so imagine this. You just died, and your soul is now being judged by the gods to determine whether you will be allowed to enter the afterlife or not. As you approach the 42 gods of the underworld, they all turn their heads and look at you with intense expressions on their faces. One by one, they begin to speak, but their words send chills down your spine. They accuse you of all sorts of sins, from being lazy to being dishonest to murder. You try to defend yourself, but it's no use. The gods are unmoved. Just when you think all hope is lost, one of the gods speaks up. She says that she sees good in you and believes you should be allowed into the afterlife. But the other gods are not convinced. They continue to pile on the accusations until suddenly one of the gods stands up. It is Ammit. With his eyes glowing red-hot, he lunges towards you, knocking you off balance and sending you tumbling to the ground. You try to scramble away, but it's too late. Ammit is upon you, and he opens his mouth wide, revealing sharp, jagged teeth. "Your soul is mine," he growls, and he devours you whole. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, and today we'll be taking a closer look at Ammit, the merciless soul eater. Ammit was an Egyptian god associated with destruction, chaos, and decay. He was also the patron deity of those who died violently or unexpectedly. Depictions of Ammit usually show him as a fearsome creature with the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and the wings of an eagle. This combination of three powerful animals was meant to symbolize Ammit's strength, ferocity, and ability to strike quickly and unexpectedly. In Egyptian mythology, it was believed that after a person died, their soul had to pass a test in order to be allowed into the afterlife. This test was overseen by a group of 42 gods, and one of them was Ammit. During the weighing of the heart ceremony, the deceased person's heart was placed on one side of a scale, and the feather of truth on the other side. If the heart was heavier than the feather, it meant that the person had lived a life of sin, and their soul would be condemned to the underworld. However, even if the heart was lighter than the feather, meaning the person had lived a good life, they still had to face Ammit. After passing the test of the 42 gods, the deceased would then approach Ammit and offer him a piece of their soul. If Ammit accepted the offering, then the soul would be allowed to pass into the afterlife. But if he rejected it, then the soul would be devoured, and the person would be condemned to wander the earth as a ghost. While Ammit was primarily a god of destruction and chaos, he was also seen as a bringer of justice. In some cases, he was called upon to punish those who had committed serious sins, such as murder or theft. Ammit was also associated with the plague, and he was invoked during times of disease and suffering. Despite his terrifying reputation, Ammit was revered by the Egyptians, and there were many temples and shrines dedicated to him throughout Egypt. People would make offerings of food and drink to appease him, and they would also sacrifice animals to him, particularly crocodiles, which were considered to be sacred to him. So what do you think? Is Ammit the most terrifying Egyptian god that you've never heard of? Or do you know of other obscure deities that should be featured in this series? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.